Here at 10 o'clock, we are bringing you the latest coverage post-Beryl this morning. So Beryl has moved on out of here, but now we're left with a heat advisory and about 2 million of our neighbors still without power. It's a very serious situation.
And I feel like everybody has probably all day just been on their phone right now. I'm even trying to get to our Facebook page so I can see. I can't even get on there, and we have Wi-Fi. Like it's just nothing's working right now.
Cell towers are really weird right now.
It's really odd.
Okay, so we're going to go out to Heather first. I just heard in my ear.
Oh, good.
She's been talking about trees, how to, what to do. Oh, is it raining down there already?
Oh no.
Yes, it just started pouring rain. We are live in Lake Jackson, and I'm here with Sean Burke. He's a very you need to get the weather app out. I'm here with Sean Burke with Burke's Trees and More, and they're working on getting this tree down that you see behind us here that fell on the house. They've already gotten some of the branches off of there. But so for people that, first let's talk about when you're in that situation and you've got a tree on your house, what do folks need to be doing?
They need to worry about getting the tree off the house first, and then so that way the insurance can come out, take a look at it. Make sure before you tarp up your roof that you get pictures for your insurance. It's one of the big things that they're going to ask for. And make sure the tree company's insured. It's the biggest thing. You have a lot of people that come out here fly-by-nights that will take advantage of you and not have insurance. They'll cause you property damage, and you're stuck with it.
Yeah, and then let's also talk about, so many people have all of these other kinds of trees that we've been seeing in this area. They're falling over, they've fallen over. After the drought, I imagine that made a lot of trees really vulnerable to then being pushed over by an event like this.
Yes, ma'am. You got weaker roots when they don't get the nutrition they need. And then to top it all off, you got so much rain and wind. The ground can't absorb that much water. And it just lets the roots fail, and you'll have more uproots, and it's more damage that way. I really like telling people, if you have any trees around the house, try to remove them, keep them trimmed up. It's the biggest thing. Yeah. I can't say it enough, as trim your trees. Yeah. And help prevent some of this stuff.
Is there a way of knowing whether a tree can be saved or whether it's time to go?
It determines on the life of your tree. You can look at it like the tree right behind us, right here. This ash tree.
The big one.
Yes, ma'am. If you look at the side of it, it has borer beetles, and that whole side is actually weakened, and it's going to allow it to eventually break and fall over. So that tree is detrimental, but it's not detrimental to your property, your house, or a structure. So it needs to go, but it's not a needs to go right now.
Right.
But right now, if you're able to cut trees down, let them cut them down. It'll save you some money by putting it up to the road while you're in a storm cleanup.
Yeah.
I'm always down to help people save money.
Yeah.
And that's the biggest thing nowadays.
That's great. Let's talk just a little bit more. You talked a little bit about looking for insurance. What are some other ways to make sure you're choosing a good tree trimmer?
Do your research. Do your reviews on people. Ask people. Call previous customers. Post on Facebook. You can get everybody's review on what they are and how they react and what type of work they do. But sometimes you get that one time that you have an accident or something like that happens on a job. It's tree work. You never know what's going to happen. Yeah. So, but I always suggest do your research on somebody you're going to use, any contractor in general, and make sure they have insurance. Yeah. And when you do, make sure you see their proof of insurance. Call their provider. There's a lot of people that pay their first premium, not pay anything else, just that piece of paper.
And then your phone's been ringing off the hook since the storm hit, right? Tell me about that.
By 8 o'clock yesterday morning, we had probably about 50, 60 phone calls, and by the end of the day, we had close to 200, and this morning they're still going.
Yeah, and probably will for days.
Yes, ma'am. Tomorrow we got a crane job going on. It's going to be real interesting.
All right. Well, and of course the rain's not making things any easier.
Hey, as long as there's no lightning, we're okay.
Okay, glad to hear that. Well, Sean Burke, thanks so much for being with us. Appreciate it. And there's some great advice to help you select some tree trimmers, because we know so many people are dealing with down trees like this. So we'll send things back to you. Hopefully that helped a lot of people figure out what they need to be doing.
Yes, ma'am.
Absolutely, Heather. And we did find the shower on the radar.
Heather, let me tell you something. There was nothing on the radar.
We couldn't see anything.
Nothing.
We were like, how can this be?
I made an emergency phone call from the newsroom to the Weather Center, and I asked Allison Gargaro, and she went over to the radar and said, oh, yeah, there's a little dot.
You're under the dot.
Right.
Oh, well, we were right under the dot. Yeah, because it came down. It's starting to lighten up now, but it came down. And if it weren't for my his umbrella here, this would be a very wet mess right now.
Oh, that was so nice of him to hold it for you.
I know. What a gentleman.
It is. I know. He'll trim your trees and keep you dry.
Wow.
Can't
Good
ask
guy.
for more. That's as good as it gets.
Well, see, these are like the silver linings that we find, you know, sometimes when we're dealing with a really big disaster. Okay, thank you, Heather. So the city of Houston was able to open up like more cooling centers today. They didn't push any out last night because they were still waiting to see, am I going to get power back to some of these places? Or am I going to get emergency generators brought in? But there are more that are coming online now, including a big one, the Southwest Multi-Service Center on High Star, and then the nonprofit Lakewood Church being able to open its doors, which that doesn't happen too often, where we see Lakewood opening up.
We were talking about there's what 17,000 seats there where people could go sit, like just go sit and get cool, and they have water. I mean, all that's huge. And I just want to update everybody really quickly. We weren't on Facebook in the beginning, but we wanted to make sure that it is now, because if you have questions for us, we might be able to have info that you don't know about, or we can look it up for you. So you can hop on Facebook now if you have any questions at all. We would love to do what we can to help you out. I think it's really important for you to have an open conversation with us right now.
Oh, there we are right there.
We will check out the comments and questions as they come in. Right now, are we able to go to Chelsea? She is live out at Lakewood Church, where they're helping out after Beryl. Chelsea, how's it going out there? It's also a water distribution site. Oh, Chelsea, check your mic.
We can't hear you.
See if your mic's turned on.
There we go.
There you are.
Yeah.
Mic check. Can you hear me? Can you hear me now?
We got you.
What about now?
Yep.
Got me?
Yep.
We got you.
Loud and clear.
Okay. All right. Okay, so it has been pretty cool seeing people come through here who are in need of some water and maybe just a way to cool off. I myself was able to cool off. It just felt so good. I got to tell you, I still don't have power in my home, so I kind of forgot what AC feels like. Walking through these doors here, you get that cool blast. Feels incredible. They got restrooms. They got areas for you to relax, charge your phone, all of that. And yeah, for people who just want a pack of water, this is 40 bottles of water. It's not even a small pack. You get a full case. All you got to do is drive through and they'll load up your vehicle and you can be on your way. We've also been talking about other cooling centers all morning. I was just updating my Instagram post that I put up. I put up a little video of the drive through here, but I also added a list of cooling centers that we know of so far. So we have Lakewood. We also have the Bayland Community Center, the Raddick Community Center, Weekly Community Center. We added the Southwest Multi-Service Center this morning. Now we also have Big Stone Lodge in Spring, Crosby Community Center, that's out in Crosby, Juergens Hall Community Center in Cypress, and the Trinity Mendenhall Community Center as well. That's on Wirt Road. So adding to the list of community cooling centers, community centers open, because we are, as you guys mentioned, under this heat advisory. So, you know, it's still fairly early, but it's already hot. I've been out here getting sweaty just by, you know, doing the little bit of walking around I've been doing. So I can only imagine as people are trying to do cleanup and all that and not really having a place to cool off because their electricity isn't working, that could lead to heat exhaustion, other heat-related emergencies, which is really what we want to avoid. So hopefully, you know, you guys can help spread the word. We've been spreading the word all morning that there are places available to cool off. There are places available able to get water. I spoke with one grandmother earlier, and she was just so just pleased that she was able to come up here. She had already used a cooling center as well. Just amazed that these places are open. You know, Houston Strong, that's what we know it as, people pitching in and making things available, making sure that everybody is doing okay, that we're all safe. So just a reminder to check in on your elderly neighbors and loved ones, and the disabled as well, because we don't want anybody slipping through the cracks as we get into the triple digits here.
Do you know that in some, Chelsea, I'm glad you brought that up, there are some elder, not assisted living, but you know, like a 62 plus, you know, kind of communities, and where folks might be, you know, well into their 70s and 80s, maybe not mobile, where the elevator is not working because there's no electricity, and they can't walk down the stairs. And I'm thinking, oh my gosh, what if there's a fire? I mean, you know what I mean? So that's got to be one of the first, you know, places that they need to get power restored.
Right. So many priorities. Yeah. Thanks for putting out the list.
Absolutely.
I'm also about to post it on my Fox 26 Facebook page as well. So thank you so much, Chelsea.
All right. Thank you.
I can't believe how much water they were able to have there too. I mean, they've been passing that out all morning long, and you still see major stacks. I'm happy the supply is holding out, because we were hearing from viewers the day before the hurricane even got here that they couldn't find water anywhere. I couldn't either. I was in the same boat, and so you know, a lot of people couldn't get the supplies they needed to begin with.
Long lines for ice, gas. I mean, if you see a gas station open, I mean, it's guaranteed to have a long line at it right now. All right. Do we want to take a break?
I think we have to take a break, though. You want to ask Director Bradley?
All right, let's take a break. Bradley says yes.
Bradley says
right
yes.
back.
Fox 26 is your Gulf Coast Weather Authority. And while our area is vast,
this storm could bring widespread flooding and dangerous winds to our entire
our forecasting zeroes in.
These storm cells over the ship channel are particularly dangerous.
From your community.
Memorial Park is getting hammered right now with heavy downpours.
Right down to your neighborhood streets.
We're starting to see the water rise along Buffalo Bayou.
It's hyper-local coverage from your Gulf Coast Weather Authority. Only on Fox 26. Fox 26 News at 9. Our breaking bond reports hold judges accountable.
A 20-year-old charged with manslaughter.
The News Edge at 10. Your clues help find the missing.
Her son never made it to his
investigations that get results. Weeknights on Fox 26. Engaging and shareable. Visit the Fox 26 Houston Facebook page. Need a legal question answered? Fox 26 legal expert Chris Tritico can help.
But this may be a pretty sizable claim that your sister has.
Just send your legal questions to fox26law@fox.com. Then tune into Houston's morning show every Tuesday and Thursday at 7 a.m. to hear your questions answered. The news doesn't stop on weekends.
We're learning more details about a story we first brought you yesterday morning.
And neither do we.
But as we head throughout the afternoon, that's when the rain starts moving in from the southwest.
Fox 26 Morning News Weekends with Denise Middleton.
Well, now to a story you'll see only on Fox. The family of a beloved bartender in North.
And meteorologist Allison Gargaro.
Right now, we are seeing some of the heaviest rain start to push off to our
Fox 26 Morning News Weekends, Saturdays and Sundays beginning at 5 a.m.
The Fox 26 Weather app with more features in one easy-to-use screen. Current weather at a glance, high-resolution interactive radar, severe weather alerts, video forecasts, and much more. It's the power of your Gulf Coast Weather Authority in the palm of your hand. The Fox 26 Weather app. Download it today.
The Fox 26 YouTube page, your home for the best Fox 26 has to offer. The latest news.
Good evening, I'm Caroline Collins. Topping the rundown.
Our most popular local programs like the Isaiah Factor Uncensored.
Why the hell are so many people burned out?
And stories you may have missed from series like Breaking Bond.
The quicker we get a grasp on what's happening.
Sullivan Smart Sense and The Missing.
Please pick up the phone and call the police. Remember, you can remain anonymous.
The Fox 26 YouTube page. Like and subscribe today.
All right, welcome back everybody to the after show. How are you doing? We keep asking you. Not a lot of comments. I think people are sort of in a shell shock state today, don't you think?
Or just not having a way to reach us right now.
Yeah.
there's like this constant hum of chainsaws and generators in my neighborhood. I mean,
so
you walk
loud
outside.
It's weird. It doesn't feel like home.
Right.
It's so different.
I saw a guy when I was driving home from work yesterday. He was on the top of I mean, I was scared. So he was like on the side of the road. Yeah, like right on the sidewalk next to the road. He's on the top of a tall ladder, and he's got one of these long, like, you know, I don't know what they're called. It's like a saw on the end of a long boom that he's sawing off a branch or whatever. I'm like, this guy's going to fall into the road.
Oh, man, that's scary.
I mean, it's not, it's scary.
Yes.
This guy's going to get hurt.
Well, they say that's when a lot of the injuries happen, are with the chainsaws, taking down trees, cleaning up. Oh, our neighbor behind us, his tree fell on our fence and over like our fence. So my husband was outside like removing it all day. And I said, did the neighbor ever come over
offer to help?
Ask about the situation? And he's like, no. I'm like, he's like, I don't even know if he knows. I'm like, how does he not know?
Yeah.
His tree is hanging over our fence.
That is a Chris Tritico segment.
It was this
in the
morning.
making.
It was this morning.
was
and
it?
you know what bites? I kind of think it does.
Yeah.
If your neighbor's tree falls in your house, and there wasn't and the tree wasn't messed up because they knew before it was weak.
Oh, then you have to.
You have to clean it up, and you have to on your property, and you have to pay for your own damage.
Oh, yeah,
because
they're saying it was like an act of God, like weather related, right? Yeah. I know. Luckily, ours didn't. Like there were a couple of our fence, what do you call them, posts or whatever, that did knock down, but other than that, luckily,
that's hard
like,
since you have a dog.
Yeah,
too,
yeah,
right?
just a couple, but Ryder, he
doesn't run away.
He's old.
He's
old,
good.
and he's a German Shepherd, so he's like attached to me always.
Good.
So I never have to worry about him walking out.
My dog would be right out the back fence and might come back. I don't know.
I think we have Shelby that we are supposed to be visiting with. Shelby's been out in it. Well, you've had a rough few days out in it this week.
Yes, I think rough is a little bit of an understatement if you saw any of my live shots yesterday. But I mean, it's nothing compared to what everyone's dealing with today and will deal with for the days and hopefully not weeks to come with so many people without power. I can't imagine how frustrating it is, just considering it was just this past May that so many people, especially here in the Heights neighborhood, that were without power for days when the derecho blew through here. And I'm sure the question on everyone's mind is, well, when am I going to get back power? Unfortunately, that is a very difficult question to answer. The only thing that we've gotten from CenterPoint thus far is that they expect to restore 1 million people with their power by the end of day tomorrow. I will say, though, it has gotten a little better throughout the morning, though. We've seen about 100,000-ish people get their power restored, so it's sitting at a little over 1.7 million CenterPoint customers. The last update we got from Entergy was a little over 200,000 of their customers. And the reason why it's projected to take long, all we're told is that it just a multi-day event, is because of all of the debris cleanup that has to happen. Thankfully, this tree here in the Heights did not hit any power lines, but there have been an incredible amount of trees and branches that took down lines all throughout the greater Houston area, and they all have to be cleaned up and removed before crews can even begin to restore power. CenterPoint does say, though, that they have brought in thousands of people from in-state, out-of-state to help in those efforts. They're telling us about a total of 12,000 people that are going to be out here in the coming days helping to restore power. So that is good news, that it definitely is an all-hands-on-deck effort. They're just asking for patience. Hopefully, though, we are told that once they do, get all of this debris cleaned up and all that, then we'll have a better assessment of when there's a timeline of when everyone can get their power restored. But that is going to take at least a couple days before we do get that timeline. So it's just, patience. Unfortunately, I know it's hot and I know that so many people are without power. And we're going to bring those updates as soon as we get them.
Okay, Chelsea, I think everybody's waiting on that next CenterPoint update. We heard from Galveston County Judge Mark Henry during the 9 a.m. hour. He was visibly upset that CenterPoint had not pre-positioned crews here ahead of time, knowing that the storm was coming to the Texas coastline, even though we didn't know exactly where it would hit. And so that's delayed the response.
Yeah, it's apparently going to be
a
big talker, big controversy. All right. Thanks, Shelby. Get someplace cool.
Our viewer, Mike Henry, says that the power's back on. I feel like I just want to celebrate every time somebody says that.
Yes, right?
Yeah, 'cause it shows it's moving.
Congratulations.
Yes.
I think it's a step toward normalcy for one person
absolutely.
and one family at a time. And I think that sounds so good to have AC. We don't know what we've got till it's gone. Don't we take everything for granted?
Like, how did people used to do it?
Just trying to get dressed and trying to find clothes in my closet with the flashlight, and you're trying to go through your clothes, and it's like, this is such a simple problem, but it's just so inconvenient and it's difficult, right? We just don't. We just take it for granted.
Let me tell you the hookup that I had.
Okay. Oh, do tell.
So you know, meteorologist John Dawson, you know, he does our hurricane gear tests. Now, JD is very, very strict about his ethics involving the devices that they send him. You know, they send him this stuff to test. Sometimes they don't even want to necessarily pay for the shipping to ship it back. So we just have like a closet filled with all this gear. And a lot of the stuff that he has are these battery packs. So you can you keep them plugged in and they charge. And then when the power goes out, you can use them to charge your phones. You could use them to even like run a fan and stuff like that. So he said, hey, you want to take one of these things home? And I was like, yeah, I guess. It was really heavy. You know, it was like a car battery. It was really heavy.
So what'd you power?
A box fan.
Nice.
Yeah, yesterday. So when I got home from work, I was exhausted. I took a nap. I had this box fan, and it actually made it like tolerable.
Yeah.
So that's the one. You know, it's one of the perks of being back there in the weather department.
Yes.
I get the hookup of this equipment from JD.
Now, in the past,
oh, you don't know what you're going to find back there.
In the past, haven't you gotten like a little bit of a hookup from a neighbor?
Oh yes, but he moved. My favorite. Oh my gosh. Ralph and Angie, the best neighbors we ever had. Well, there was another. Well, we had. They're tied for the best neighbors we've ever had. They moved down. They bought like a property, and they have chickens and cows and stuff down. And I think they probably just got hit. In fact, I should probably text him, see how he's doing. But he was like our savior during the freeze.
Yeah.
And you know, ran us a long extension cord from his generator, and then he actually came over because he's like, you know, these people who could do anything.
Oh yeah.
You know, like I wish I was like that, but he came over and set up a transfer switch and all that stuff so that if because I got a generator, so that we can plug it in if we ever needed it. And so I have a generator running at home now.
Right. Okay.
And it's
so
not
you're using the transfer switch.
Yeah.
That's
which you know, you can't just plug it into the wall. So that's what we're using right now. So of course,
and is it powering everything, the AC and everything?
You know, I mean, we have like I could tell when the AC kicks in, because if the refrigerator's running at the same time the AC, I hear the engine go or like that, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm going to break it.
Well, I just got a text from my husband saying the generator just died, and I bet we tried to do a little too much because we have the same hookup. We don't, you know, we didn't pay for the whole full, you know, $10,000.
Wouldn't that be nice though?
It would be nice for it when it just kicks on, when it goes out. Instead, you got to go out there, you got to take it out, you got to, you know, do all that. So yeah, we had AC last night up until I woke up for work at 1:30, and my husband was like, okay, tell me, like, wake me up when you wake up, and I'm gonna go out there and turn off the generator so that we can just like save it for a little bit. But anyway,
and now it's out.
And now it's out completely. So I'm like, what are we? Now I don't know what we're gonna do.
You're supposed to change the oil or check, you know, add oil. Whatever. I'm like,
so maybe there's something with that. I don't know. But it's not out of fuel. He's been like, you know. Oh my gosh.
We have. This is my advice for anybody out there who may be watching. Probably not many of you, but I have a dual fuel. So you could either run on gasoline or like the propane tanks. Look, so much easier to use the propane tanks.
Oh, I bet.
With gasoline, you've got to fill up these tanks of gas, and then you've got to store it in your garage.
Which is dangerous.
Which is dangerous and smelly and all that stuff. And then you kind of have to rotate it because gasoline will go bad. And then if you don't clean it out the right way, it'll get all kind of gunked up and won't work anymore. The propane tanks are so awesome because I bought 3 before the hurricane season. And if we want to, we can use it for like a grill or whatever. But easy. In fact, my wife, you know, like Crystal does not go out and get her hands dirty very often. But she apparently went out there today and like shut it off, changed the propane tank. Yes.
That's awesome.
I was very impressed.
I would be too. Yeah, because I'm
her.
nervous to touch
Yeah.
anything.
Yeah,
Very,
me
very
too. I'm afraid
impressed.
I'm going to blow something up.
I know. That's anytime I hear
don't
it making
touch it.
any kind of weird noise, I'm like
Honey,
texting my husband in the
honey,
house, like
What is it
it's
doing?
making a weird noise. I think we need to shut it off.
Yeah.
You know.
I'm scared of
man.
it. I'm impressed.
Yeah.
I need to take some crystal lessons.
Seriously.
Oh,
Hey, I have a couple of weather graphics to show real quick because I believe we have like 2 minutes left until the end of the after show.
All right.
Yes.
So, Beryl, now a post-tropical cyclone. So it was a tropical depression when we last checked, and post-tropical means that this is the last advisory the Hurricane Center is going to be responsible for. So that one is headed toward Buffalo, believe it or not. I wanted to show you this. By the way, this graphic was 100% inspired by Sally McDonald.
Oh, really?
Well, because Sally mentioned to me, she said, you know, way up north, like in Livingston, everybody's power is out.
Yeah.
And you wouldn't think that that would happen from a hurricane. So I said, oh, I got like a neat graphic I can make with that. So I plotted the history of the storm, and it kind of real time as the path moved over, our power outage tracker. So yeah, it's pretty
Yeah, look, it did
amazing.
It did go right by Lake Livingston.
Yeah,
right?
and in fact, that county is purple, meaning 100% outages.
Wow. So that's Polk or San Jacinto? One of
I
those?
think Polk.
Okay.
I think Polk was 100% out. All right, I think we're out of time.
Okay, yeah, we're out of time. So we are expecting an update from the Galveston mayor at 10:30. Melissa and I are going to stay on.
Yeah, just wait. A couple minutes out for that. We'll
Y'all
get
got to
an
stay
update.
sitting out here?
Yep,
we
we're
will.
Here. We
Fox
got
26 is your Gulf Coast Weather Authority. And while our area is vast,
This storm could bring widespread flooding and dangerous winds to our entire
our forecasting zeroes in
These storm cells over the ship channel are particularly dangerous.
from your community
Memorial Park is getting hammered right now with heavy downpours.
right down to your neighborhood streets.
We're starting to see the water rise along Buffalo Bayou.
It's hyper-local coverage from your Gulf Coast Weather Authority, only on Fox 26. Fox 26 News at 9. Our breaking bond reports hold judges accountable.
A 20-year-old charged with
The
manslaughter.
News Edge at 10. Your clues help find the missing.
Her son never made it to his
Investigations that get results. Weeknights on Fox 26. Engaging and shareable. Visit the Fox 26 Houston Facebook page. Need a legal question answered? Fox 26 legal expert Chris Tritico can help.
But this may be a pretty sizable claim that your sister has.
Just send your legal questions to Fox26Law at Fox.com. Then tune into Houston's morning show every Tuesday and Thursday at 7 a.m. to hear your questions answered. The news doesn't stop on weekends,
We're learning more details about a story we first brought you yesterday morning.
and neither do we.
But as we head throughout the afternoon, that's when the rain starts moving in from the southwest.
Fox 26 Morning News Weekends with Denise Middleton
Well, now to a story you'll see only on Fox. The family of a beloved bartender in North
and meteorologist Allison Gargaro.
Right now, we are seeing some of the heaviest rain start to push off to our
Fox 26 Morning News Weekends, Saturdays and Sundays beginning at 5 a.m.
The Fox 26 weather app with more features in one easy-to-use screen. Current weather at a glance, high-resolution interactive radar, severe weather alerts, video forecasts, and much more. It's the
back up running, back in normal operation as of today. I wanted to tell the citizens of Galveston that if you have damage, be sure to go on the website of Texas Department of Emergency Management portal to make sure that you register that damage. That's very important, not only for you, but for the city of Galveston. We need to register with TDM that goes to FEMA, and so that we know, and FEMA knows, how much damage actually is occurring on the island, so that we can reach a threshold that we then will have FEMA funding. So it's important that our citizens understand to go on that FEMA TDM portal and register where your damage is, an approximation of how much you had. Now, I'm going to give you some thoughts this morning about going to websites and things, and I've asked Marissa to print all that out so you don't have to keep track of that. She's going to have that printed out for you and be distributed here this morning once the press conference is over. Our phone systems are down. The phone system at the city is down. The phone system at the county is down. The phone system at UTMB is down. And those phone systems are down because we all share a specific organization in Houston that manages this phone system, and it went down in Houston. And when it went down, it affected the county, the city, and UTMB. We're working with them right now to get up and running as quickly as we can. 911 is operating correctly. So 911 is operating, so you haven't lost at least that access to emergency care. So that is kind of where we stand with the communication from the phone system at this time. I would say, too, that it's important that citizens register if they have not with Notify Me program that we have at the city here. Marissa has that information printed out. And also register with our one call system that we have here at the city. That system is a system you can register your email or your phone number and get text so that you can be notified and not have to go to social media or the website at the city or anything like that. Marissa is going to be pushing that information out. We've been doing that. Yesterday we sent out 2 notices to our community, and today we'll be sending out more and updating the community on the status of the city. But we will be texting those individuals or emailing those individuals to make sure they're notified if these are individuals that don't follow social media, watch the TVs, or doing anything like that. With the electricity down, that's a main problem, of course, on following the media here. Wanted to mention also, we have enacted a system here in the evening. We have not called for a curfew here on the island. I visited with the city manager at length and the chief of police here, and the chief has guided me that for better control of our community, what we're doing with nighttime patrols here is we're increasing the number of police officers at nighttime here on the island, and that's been increased quite a bit. We want to make sure that we're monitoring property, not spending time possibly chasing down people that may be just driving down the street after a curfew hour. We want to make sure these police officers are in the community, monitoring property and making sure everyone is safe. So I wanted to tell everybody, if you're coming to Galveston here, and I'm sure a lot of people are in their homes there in Houston and have no intention right now of coming to Galveston, but if you do and you're here in the evenings, we would advise you to stay away from the island in the evening times until we can come back and get running full time. That's going to be very important, but we will have extra police out at night patrolling all areas of the island, not only behind the seawall and downtown, but on the west end also. That's very important. I would say also that power, most of the calls I get concerning when are we going to have electricity back. I've talked with CenterPoint. The staff has talked with CenterPoint repeatedly. I talked with them late last night. Some good news that we're hearing from CenterPoint. I am told by CenterPoint late last night that their goal is to get the majority, as many of the customers they can on the island up and running and back online by the latest tomorrow. I didn't get a time on that. I don't know if it's late at night tomorrow night or if it'll be early in the morning, but they're working diligently to get many of our customers back online as quickly as possible. And to support that, to let you know, CenterPoint, as you probably know, has hired many crews from outside the state and brought them in to help them. They've had almost 17,000 people that extra they have hired now to bring into the Galveston, Houston area. And on the island here, we have hundreds of crews from out of state that have just arrived on the island as we speak and we've made arrangements, and our city manager has made arrangements to put them up while they're here so that they can get us up and running as quickly as possible. And we're being told by CenterPoint that those hundreds will go to thousands by tonight on the number of people on the island outside of the CenterPoint service area, but extra personnel to get us up and running. So that's going to be very important. We have a cooling center that we have opened this morning. It's hot and humid out there. And so at McGuire Dent, it's at 28th and Seawall. It's a recreation center, and we do have it open as a cooling center. Activities at the McGuire Dent Recreation Center are not in operation, but you can go in there, get cool, charge your phones and things like that. And speaking of charging your phones, our firefighters have opened up all the fire stations here on the island. They're going to open their doors up for people to come in and plug their phones in and all the outlets that they have available to make sure